Trader evaluations have come up a lot on this channel, and I haven't been very positive on them in the past. So I was a little surprised when Earn2Trade approached me about doing a sponsored video. You see, I was pretty hard on them in my last video on trader evaluations. A civil suit charged a former founder of Earn2Trade with fraud. I talked about the story in my video and I used that to generate interest. Later, Earn2Trade contacted me with some concerns about the thumbnail and the title, and my first thought was to tell them to just pound sand. But I started to realize that they had a point. Mastern was a founder of Earn2Trade, but the civil case does not concern Earn2Trade. The case is about a completely different venture of his, and well, I made that clear in the video itself. That was not clear from the thumbnail. I hate it when headlines from the news give people false impressions, and so that's why I decided to work with Earn2Trade to update that thumbnail, and we created something more accurate and fair to them. Now, we worked back and forth on this issue, and a few months later, Earn2Trade asked if they could do a sponsored video. They were making some tweaks to the evaluation rules, and they would give me a free Gauntlet account to try it out. Of course, I have some mixed feelings about evaluations. Traders just aren't very likely to meet the aggressive targets. Instead, I trade more risk-averse strategies on my own account with micro futures. That's why I chose to stop promoting affiliate links for trader evaluations when I did my last video. However, there is a use case for evaluations that still makes sense. They allow you to take on a lot of risk. There's many strategies that have long-term issues that make them liable to fall apart on you at some point, but you can make plenty of money from them before that happens. I'm not comfortable trading such strategies on my own account, but why not use an evaluation account? If things are going well, you can use excessive leverage, and if it doesn't work out, you've only lost the evaluation fee. Well, I've been working on some automated strategies that are perfect candidates. In fact, one of the strategies that I've named J did quite well on Sim last month. It would have easily passed the evaluation in the month of June. I've never run a robot on an evaluation account before, so while I'm sure there will be some growing pains, it's definitely something that I want to try. So, is J up to the task? Well, let's just say that I had a little bit too much fun making this video. But don't worry, it's a good story and it has a happy ending. So let's start out by talking about what has changed with Earn2Trade's evaluation and the drawdown limit. Every trader evaluation has rules that you have to follow, things like when you can trade, position sizing, and daily loss limits. Every responsible trader should be following these rules to some degree anyways. If you break these rules, then you've made a mistake. Then there's the drawdown limit. This is the rule that enforces a certain level of performance. So if you do everything else right, this is the rule that will kill your evaluation in the end. It used to be that the drawdown limit was calculated from the highest value your portfolio ever had. So let's say that the drawdown limit on your evaluation is $1,500. If you made 500 in profits and then lost 1,500, your account would only be down 1,000. Yet you would break the drawdown rule and fail the evaluation. Now, this can be a problem because it's possible to have huge intraday swings when you're using high leverage, days when you're up 1,000 and lose it before the end of the day. I see this a lot online where everyone seems to blow their evaluations on the same day. So the fix is that the trailing drawdown is now only calculated from the end of day value. So if you make 1K and then lose it again all in one day, it won't factor into the drawdown calculation. It's a small change that can give you a lot more leeway for leverage strategies during the evaluations. Just note that this rule does not apply once you have the funded account. That still uses the old drawdown rules. Now, before I get into running my strategy, I wanted to test out the system a little, try breaking a few rules to see how the system reacts and what the experience is like when you fail. When I worked for a big bank, one of the things that I did was maintaining risk control systems built in KDB, which is very similar to what these evaluations are doing. So I'm really interested in how it deals with detecting broken rules. They gave me free resets so I can fail as many times as I need to test things out. Hopefully that means that then you don't have to make the same mistakes. So I decided that I would start out first by trying to break the daily loss limit of 500 bucks. And what better way to do that than with the non-farms jobs report? If I'm lucky, we'll have a huge winner to start with, and if I'm wrong, we could just reset things. So I go in and I put on the max 3 contracts that I'm allowed to put on, and wait, what? Why did it take me out of my position? So I check my dashboard and it says that I've broken the progression ladder rules, which was very confusing to me. I'm allowed 3 contracts, right? So I look up the rules and I realize that it's up to 3. I have to build up a little bit of profit in order to use that 3rd contract. So yeah, I broke a rule, just not the one I was trying to break. It's okay though. The July jobs report wasn't all that interesting anyways. I think Earn2Trade does a pretty good job with the experience of failing an evaluation. The system is not as immediate as I would like, but once it detects a rule break, you get good feedback. The system tells you exactly what rule you broke and links to documentation about the rules. You also get an email notifying you that the evaluation failed, and the dashboard tracks your progress on every metric so you know exactly where you stand at all times. The system does feel a little cold though. I mean, failing the evaluation can be very discouraging. At least show us a picture of a cute cat or something to soften the blow. All right, so we made a mistake. Good thing that I have infinite resets. So let's get started with the robot. I do wish that I had more time to work on him. He's not exactly trading the way that I intended, but he is trading well. So how does the robot work? Well, of course, I'm not going to tell you everything. However, I will say that he is not using technical analysis. Jay is watching for imbalances in the order flow. He also takes equal risk reward trades where he will make or lose 200 per trade. So there's no shenanigans with how I'm playing with the risk. The edge comes from having a predictive signal with a win rate over 50%. From there, we just add lots of leverage. As long as markets remain in this awesome bullish market regime that we have, Jay should continue to do well. So first day, he takes a winning trade. Awesome. Then at the end of the day, I notice an email stating that I failed the evaluation again. Turns out that I didn't set the session templates in NinjaTrader correctly, and so Jay tried taking trades after the NYSE close, which is against the rules. So yeah, that's another embarrassing mistake. The frustrating thing is that the system could prevent you from making such mistakes. If you try to enter a trade during a restricted time, the system could just reject your order. I get it though, they're not going to stop you if you insist on making stupid mistakes. The CME did make a change recently with the trading hours. Before they would be closed during that time, but they don't need that settlement time period anymore and they got rid of it. And so that is why my template was screwed up and I made the mistake. This isn't a mistake that you're likely to make with your discretionary trading, especially now since you've seen me make that mistake and you know better. Once we got some of the kinks worked out though, the evaluation started going really well. Jay would take 1 trade a day and he'd win almost every time. So we're a good $900 into it and we haven't had a single loser yet. It's not perfect. He's not taking a trade every day and you do have to trade on 15 different days to pass the evaluation. We're also running out of time until the end of the month when I need to switch focus to some other things. That's okay though. We can just take discretionary trades on days when Jay doesn't take his normal early trade, and that should fix that problem. Then the big Monday came when markets tumbled after tons of option gamma had expired from the week below. And this is a big problem. See, Jay works really well in the current easy money market regime, but some volatility coming in could completely ruin the system. Sure enough, that day came and Jay finally caught a loser. That's okay though, it's just one loser, right? At this point, I started to see some strong indications that we'd see a recovery, so I decided to go for the discretionary trade, which of course stopped out. So at that point, I'm at my daily limit, so no more trades in the evaluation account, which really sucked because I was still seeing very strong indications that we would reverse. And in fact, I pulled out my live account for the first time this summer and took a trade with a micro contract that ended up being a huge $160 winner, which is amazing. That one trade alone, if I had been trading the same size as J trades, would have been almost enough to meet the profit target all on its own. Classic, isn't it? But that's okay. We're gonna have days where we hit our loss limit, and hey, I made money in my live account, which is pretty nice. Except what's this? Evaluation failed again? Yeah, when my discretionary trade stopped out, I didn't cancel the take profit order. So as we had this huge move up, the evaluation account went short and got stopped out of the trade, breaking the daily loss limit. I executed the trade in NinjaTrader when I usually do this sort of thing in Jigsaw, where I have some things set up to prevent this sort of a thing from happening. So that's my excuse. So now that we've broken almost every rule, let's try one last reset. Hopefully that one down day was just a little blip and things haven't completely changed for Jay, except that's exactly what happened, and almost every trade that he took after that was bad. Have you ever had that experience as though the market has decided that you've made too much money and decides to start taking vengeance on you so that literally every trade that you take after that is a loser? Yeah. That's what happened. So yeah, that was a little disappointing. I really wanted to be able to show you guys a successful evaluation. After all, the algo would have passed the month before. However, that's just how it goes sometimes when you are using high leverage. You probably aren't going to pass every month. Now, I did say that this has a good ending, and ironically enough, I had a great period in the treasuries with a regular sim account the week after that. I just got really lucky. We were in a favorable market period where treasuries were really moving, and it ended up being some of my best trading, and it definitely could have made a great evaluation. I know it doesn't count because I wasn't on the evaluation account, but cut my ego a break, okay? The point is, with a little bit of luck and some risky moves, it is definitely possible to pass an evaluation. I do think it is better this way though. My main focus is on trading the upcoming micro treasury yield futures. I've been saving most of the risk in my live account for that. Plus, paying the professional fees every month would be a bit of a burden for an account that I was doing a bit of a YOLO on anyways. And that's really the thing that I'm trying to get across in this video. Trader evaluations do have their place, but they don't fit every trader in every situation, and sometimes it's a little bit of a gamble. Trader evaluations do allow you to take on a lot of risk, and from that perspective, they are useful. You can make money just by taking on a lot of risk. And it's okay to trade that way as long as you understand where the profits are coming from. Because I've seen a lot of traders waste time where they will take the evaluation and pass it, get funded, and then lose that funded account and go through that over and over and over again, all the while not actually improving their trading. Sometimes it's better to just reduce risk and focus on making sure that you really have a consistent edge. At the same time, I believe that evaluations are worth trying for every trader at least once. There's quite a few good perks that are especially useful if you're new. They have a decent amount of training material included with the evaluation that covers all of the basics. You also get to use Journalytics for 60 days to look at your stats, which is a tool that I simply cannot live without. It's also a great way to try out trading with NinjaTrader. So if you're looking to try a trader evaluation, Earn2Trade should definitely be on your list. As for Jay, he needs a little bit of work. While he has had some success, and maybe he will have some success in the future, he just isn't taking the trade that I designed him to take. I've made a few changes that are promising in the backtesting so far though, so we'll see. I'm going to be focused on trading the new micro treasury futures and trying to find an edge in the yield curve, but we'll keep working on and testing Jay in the background. So I will see you guys for that. Remember, I live stream every weekday here on YouTube starting at 8:30 to 10:30 Eastern time. So make sure you're subscribed and hit the bell icon for that. I will see you guys then. And in the meantime, stay profitable, friends.